Buddy. Little impromptu trip up here to the Hobbit house. I put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. So I had to do some solar work. I don't see anybody watching yet, but I'm sure there'll be people in a second. So in the meantime, I guess I'll just adjust some things here. I still see nobody. Huh. We'll see. Anyways, if there's people watching and oh, there's somebody. How's it going? That's probably like one of my kids. Oh, Alex is here. Oh, thank you. How you doing, man? Oh, good, Mr. Fixers, Jeff. All right. I guess I don't usually get to be on right away because I usually play the intro first. All right, Paolo. Oh, good, good, good. Hey, Michael from Denmark. How is Denmark? You guys doing well? How's the weather in that part of the world? Is it better than here? It's so hot right now. All right, we got Russell, Gems. Who else did I miss? Alan. All right, thanks for being here, buddy. Abske, where are you that it's 11 o'clock? Oh, my goodness. All right. Johan from South Africa, Reagan. Okay, cool. Some call it fun. All right, everybody's here. Sweet. Okay, well, hey, since we got you here, yeah. Oh, is it warm up there? Oh, my gosh, it's so dang warm here. I can tell you how warm it is here. This is Shelly. What is this? A Shelly plus temperature and humidity. This is the temperature right here in our, solar containment room, solar control room. Does anybody else have one of these? A problem I have with this is it seems to be disconnecting from Home Assistant because of it goes to sleep or something, and there's not like a button to push to get it back, to wake back up. I need some wired temperature sensors that are not gonna go to sleep ever. 32 in the UK. Good grief. We all need to move a bit further north, I think. Would not have thought you need to move further north than the UK, but I guess you do. All right. So let me tell you what's going on up here and the reason that I kind of made this emergency trip. I know last week we had a really good time talking about ESP Home and the audio stuff that you could do. 41, Paolo, get out of there. Get out of there. Yeah, exactly. 8266 with DHT. I'm even thinking PoE ESP32 with a wired DHT or Dallas temperature sensor. I don't care which, just wired, so that it doesn't go to sleep. All right, I'm squirreling all over the place. So we had a good time last week. Here, I'll turn the camera around so you can see my beautiful mug, my beautiful unshaven mug. What's happening, everybody? So we had a good time last week. We talked about ESP Home and the audio, right? We talked about the audio stuff you could do with ESP Home. And I actually got the things that we said we would try next time. So I got the Raspy module thing. Is that what it was called? Raspy Audio or something like that? It was like a little ESP32 based audio board that should have everything that it needs, like a special digital audio converter, digital analog converter, amplifier, everything. But it's at my house, not this house, the other house. And then I also got some of the external DAC boards to use with ESP32. So we'll have to try that. We'll have to try that another time. Trying to think, next week I'm not sure I'll be able to stream. Man, life is just getting in the way. Oh, have to take a one-day trip to California next week for a funeral, and I'm coming home on Sunday. So I think we'll be in the middle of traveling when we're doing our normal stream time. Anyways, so I know we talked about that fun stuff last week, and I said we would talk about it this week, and now here we are not talking about it. But this is why. Okay, so what I've got here are two new. Life has gotten in the way a lot. Life gets in the way of my lives. All right, keep trying to adjust this thing on my neck. Okay, so I don't remember if I told you guys about my solar woes up here recently or not, but recently I had these two devices fail, okay? This is the charge controller. These are charge controllers. So for anybody that doesn't deal with the solar stuff very often, the solar panels are all joined, they all join together. These wires here are from the solar panels. Each of these wires, I know I'm sticking my finger in there, right? Everybody's like freaking out. These wires here represent 3 solar panels in series. So each of these wires is 3 solar panels in series. Each solar panel produces about 30 volts at maximum. So that means, that's why I shouldn't be sticking my finger in there. That means that each one of these wires has 90 volts DC on it. This is the combiner box. So each of these strings of 3 panels comes to a circuit breaker. And then all of these circuit breakers combine to this bus up here, and then to one large conductor that goes over to all this stuff. We can talk about that in a second. But at this point, so we go here, each one is going to be maybe, I don't remember what they said the current was. So each panel is 300 watts about. So what is that, like 10 amps, right? So we're at 90, each of these is 90 volts, 10 amps, just about. I know, right? Give me some curly hair. So each one of these is about 90 volts and maximum of 10 amps. I have 2 arrays of 6 strings each. So this represents 18 solar panels, and this is another 18 solar panels. You'll notice right now I actually have half of them turned off. And I'll explain that in a minute, but I have half of them turned off. So with each of these breakers, I can individually control each string of panels, and by doing that, I can vary how much current is actually flowing into here. So why is that? Why is it important? Why do I have those things shut off? Well, let me tell you. So over here, I have my charge controllers, okay? And a few weeks ago, well, when we added this second, I started out with just one charge controller, and then I decided I needed more panels. So I doubled the number of panels, and that meant I needed more charge controller capacity, right? I still need a fan in this room. This doesn't feel like it's running at all. I don't know what the temperature is on that thing, but this one feels like it's exhausting. This one doesn't. Anyway, what was happening was this one wasn't working. Okay, the one I had on this one wasn't working at all. So this one was running at maximum all the time. Now, you can see right now they're both charging at 45 amps, okay? So we're getting 84 volts from the solar panels. The battery voltage right now is 53.6, and we are charging at 45 amps. And these are doing a follow me, or a copy of each other. So this is the main one. This one is the follower. So this is the leader, this one's the follower. Well, in the past, a few weeks ago, when the follower wasn't working at all, like it never worked, out of the box, never worked. It always just read 0 volts on the input, even though I knew that there was good voltage on the input, it always just said 0. So while it wasn't working, this one was charging at its maximum capacity all the time. And these have a maximum charging rate of 90 amps. But we're in this room, it's not a lot of air movement, it's summertime. So this one was getting hot. It was getting really hot because it was running at 90 amps all the time. Eventually it failed. It tripped the breaker, it tripped this output breaker here. And when I came back up to look at it, it had failed. It was reading input voltage, but it was reading no output current. So I basically, at that point, I had 2 dead charge controllers. Credit to this company, Midnight. I got a hold of them and said, hey, I've got 2 broken charge controllers. I did a little video like this, like I did like a 1-minute explanation for them to tell them what was going on and showed them what was going on these. They sent me 2 replacements, and they arrived in just a few days. So last week, I In fact, I told them about it on Monday, I think it was. Sunday or Monday, I must have been Monday last week that I told them about it. And the new charge controllers arrived like Thursday. So that's awesome. So I came up yesterday, kind of unplanned, really, to just install these because I didn't have any charge controllers. The only way that I had to charge my battery packs was the generator, which is down there in that hole. So I basically had to run the generator to charge my battery packs, and that sucks. It's not as bad as just running the generator all the time, but it's not great. Oh, yes, it's good enough. Reminds me, let's do that right now. I'll do it again next time we have a real thing. But thanks to PCBWay for sponsoring this video. PCBWay makes lots of stuff. They do custom PCBs, they do CNC routing, they do 3D printing, injection molding, on and on. And most of all, they take good care of me. So support them if you can. If you have any of those kinds of needs, there is a coupon. Sound is bad. Oh, that's unfortunate. Sound, robotic voice. Sorry. Oh no, sound is terrible. Jeez, what happened? It used to be good. Driving through a tunnel. I'm not, though. Oh well. Is it better? I'll give you a minute. I'll keep talking and you can tell me if the sound gets any better. Anyways, I came up here. Yeah, sound went to crap, but video was fine, weirdly. Sound delay causing an echo. That is odd. Well, okay. I'll tell you one more thing about this, and then we'll go out of this room because it's really hot in here and I'm dying. It's too hot for a human to sit in here. Missing about half the sound. Not better, choppy. Okay. All right, let me go down then. Radio jitter. What is radio jitter? Oh, now it's good. Now it's back. Okay. All right, we'll finish this up here then. Okay, so the last thing that I'll tell you about this whole setup here, well, I guess we can walk through it. Let's keep walking through it. But the reason that I turned off half of these panels is because even with half the panels, I'm still charging pretty good. I mean, you can look at the rate that I'm charging the panels at, or the batteries. And at the current rate, the batteries will be fully charged in 6 hours. It just changed. It said 6 and then it changed to 7. But anyways, the batteries will be charged to full. Well, now it's down to 5. Now it's down to 4. Anyways, it keeps changing. But at the current rate, they'll finish charging today, right? Before the sun goes down, these will be, if not totally full, pretty darn close to totally full, right? By limiting the amount of current, by turning off some of the panels, I'm not running these charge controllers at their maximum capacity. They're only charging at 30 amps each instead of 90. And already today, I had this one get hot and kind of shut off on me. So I want to make sure that doesn't happen, okay? So that's why. Do you guys want to walk through the rest of this for a minute? You guys interested? I'll give you a second to answer that. If you're interested, I'll kind of walk through some of this other stuff. I know we've sort of done it before, but I think it's an interesting thing. This is something that I didn't know anything about until a year ago. Oh, which, by the way, that reminds me of another thing. I got reminded today that it was 1 year ago today that we filmed the reveal for the TV show for the Hobbit House. How about that? I know I need to get some AC up here. I think what I need to do is get a swamp cooler. Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about this setup for a minute. All right. Why not install 2 high-pressure fans outside the backside of the controllers? Yeah, I need to do something, Alexander. You're right. I'm definitely gonna. So I had a fan. I had this fan here. It was sitting in the window, and I came up here this morning. And you probably can't really tell, but if you look, well, maybe if we do it this way, you can see. Something's wrong, right? We're missing a fan blade. It's down there. Yeah, it broke. It broke. Yeah, I had it sitting in the window last night over there, so that it would suck the cool air in. And I guess it fell off the windowsill. Probably should have thought that was going to happen. I had it sitting there for a long time, so I don't know if a gust of wind came or what it was. No swamp cooler. Moisture and high voltage aren't the best of friends. Good point. Good point. Well, we definitely need something up here to move some air because it's too flipping hot in here. But for now, okay. So let's walk through the system. So I told you about the panels. Up there we've got all those solar panels. Those solar panels come into the combiner box. From the combiner box, the two main array wires. So this is a positive for one of them. That's a positive for the other one. Don't mind that. That's a surge suppressor I need to reconnect. I thought maybe that was giving me grief last night. I was getting some funny voltage readings, so I disconnected it. So those wires go down here into this chase. They go down here into this chase and then up into this. Now this thing, I was afraid was going to give me a lot of grief. But so far I think it's been okay. This is a rapid shutdown system. I'll show you the button downstairs that you push to shut it down. But basically, the positive conductors go through this coil here, and as long as this is reading current, let's see, is it up there or down here? I can't remember. But there's a sensor, or this is plugged into the main panel down there. So this powers up, and as long as everything is fine, the button is pressed downstairs and it detects power, okay, it will send a signal using this coil. I don't know what it does, some sort of pulsy. It induces a signal into the positive wire here. And that positive wire goes up here, and that signal goes to each of those strings of panels. And on each panel is a shutdown switch that's in line. It's in series with the panels. I had to go up there, this was a while ago, but I had to go put in each panel has this switch. And as long as that switch is getting the signal from this coil, it allows the panel to function and send voltage and current. If the power is turned off, so say like the power fails to the building, or the AC power that's feeding this thing fails, or if I press this big red magic button down there, and this thing will stop sending the signal. If this stops sending its signal, so no more signal from the coil up the positive conductors to all the panels. If there's no more signal, then those switches at each panel will shut off. So this is like is this a 2020 or 2017? I can't remember which electrical code version, but at some point recently, they decided that you needed to shut off all of, oh man, audio issues again? You need to shut off all of the voltage above like 20 volts or something like that coming out of solar panels within like a foot of the panel. So it has to shut off like at each panel, and it's supposed to be a safety thing, right? I made it. What are we blowing up today? Sounds good, sounds good. Okay, great. Sounds fine. Okay, good. So the idea is you want to keep the firefighters safe, right? If something bad happens and the building's on fire and you've got people spraying water or walking around up there with wet, exposed potential wires, etc., they almost the same settings controls each panel. Anyways, that's what it's for. It's to protect the firefighters. And I was afraid that it would cause me some grief. It hasn't. I thought maybe that was part of why I was having trouble, but clearly the trouble I was having was caused completely by these midnight controllers, charge controllers, which are now repaired. So, and the other thing is, I asked the inspector about this, but I don't really think this should be necessary on an unoccupied building. This is not on the house. Like if this thing catches on fire, we're just going to let it burn. Right? We're not going to get up there. Oh, Barry, you're a firefighter? Oh, that's awesome. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's fine. It's here now. You know, it cost me a lot of money and a lot of time to get it put in. It would have sure been nice if I didn't need it, since nobody needs to rescue this building. It's not like anybody has to jump in here and be nearby. They could just spray it. The batteries are more or less just a pure bomb. These are lithium iron phosphate batteries, Alexander. I mean, they can run away, but these are not. These are pretty dang safe. Lithium iron phosphate are pretty dang safe. But yeah, you're right. Those are probably a bigger problem. You say that now, but when you see all your money burning, you're going to want to stop it. Yeah, probably true, Marshmallow, probably true. Anyways, it's working now. It's not a problem. I thought it was. There's no man cave there, that's for sure. Not yet, but there will be. There will be. Okay, so let's keep following this along to isolate the burning panels. Yeah, well, that's what the inspector said, Barry, and, you know, it's in now, so we're going to leave it in, and everything's happy. I was worried about it, but for no reason, apparently, because it's working fine. But so this is the rapid shutdown. So we got combiner box, then it goes through the rapid shutdown. Then those conductors that come from the rapid shutdown go in here, and they go to the input breakers for the charge controllers. So on the left here, this is the input right here for this charge controller. This one is the input for this charge controller. So when those breakers are on, then these are both getting power from the solar panels. These then each have an output. So same size conductor comes out of these and goes to a different breaker. That's these two. This is the output for this one. This is the output for that one. And on the other side of this breaker, it goes to the battery positive bus. So these huge monster cables go over there, and those connect to the batteries. So that's how we go solar panels to charge controllers to batteries. As an electrician looking at this system you've got set up, I have to say I'm baffled. Oh gosh, really? K32 is running floods around the Hobbit house. Touch the bus. Which one? That one. Ouch. Did you see what I did down here? Okay. Now, we got firefighters. We got electricians. We have lots of people who are going to say, what are you doing? But that's why I'm here, right? I'm here to show you guys what not to do. So, I don't remember if I told you about this or not, but look at this. You see this here? So, I went to like Home Depot and I bought some sheets of kind of thin, I don't even know if it's acrylic or whatever it is, but it's just thin plastic. And I brought up my heat gun and I heated it, and then I formed it around these because I wanted something to cover these. And I was having a hard time finding a big enough box. I kept buying these project boxes. None of them were big enough. So I ended up doing this. What not to do. That's what I should call my channel. Anyways. So I put these over here, and I kind of formed it on there. I'm pretty proud of that, actually. I kind of feel like that, I mean, that's pretty good. It's not like waterproof or anything, but it'll keep people from touching it for the most part. So I was kind of proud of that. Okay, now, back over here. Next thing that happens, so we go from the battery, so we have the battery positive bus over there. And the battery positive bus goes through these breakers here. These breakers here, so the input side is the battery positive. The output side of these breakers are the inverters. So we have one inverter here and one inverter here. These are 5,600 watt at their maximum. I think they're only supposed to run like 4,400 watts continuous. So let's see, does it say on the side there? That's what I'm remembering. Yeah, 4,400. 4,400 is sort of the continuous output. So we really have 8,800 watts total that we can use when we're running those inverters. So that goes up there, and then of course those have output that is AC output that goes through, I don't remember which breakers it is now, is where my knowledge fails. I think it's the two on the left. This one's like a lockout with the generator. But anyways, it goes down there, and then to power everything else. Powers the stuff we have here in the pavilion, powers the well pump over there, powers the house. And then down there we also have a generator down below, which is also connected to this AC side. And again, I think the generator is connected to one of these breakers, the inverter is connected to the other. So I can run the generator either independent of all this, or I can run it with all of this. So if I run it with all this, the generator actually charges the batteries and powers the house. But if I needed to do something with the inverters, but I wanted to still have power in the house, I could turn on the generator flip this, isolate the inverters, turn them off, but still have power to the house. So all in all, it's actually finally, like for the first time in a year that we've sort of had this house kind of, you know, since the reveal, this is the first time that things are mostly working. I'm pretty happy about that. There is a little control panel here. This just gives me some information about what the inverters are doing. This doesn't really control the charge controllers. All the charge controller stuff happens down here. Oh, I wanted to say, so the charge controllers can connect to the internet. And I'm actually going to connect this one as well. You guys were with me when I did the Modbus, or some of you were. So these actually communicate through, what is it, guys? Modbus, TCP Modbus or something like that. Basically, they have an Ethernet. Your generator shut off issue fixed? Yes. Oh, and it works so well, Nicholas. I'll tell you about one of the automations I made in a minute. Remind me to tell you about the hot tub automation, hot tub generator automation in a minute, okay? If the loose nut is the head of the machine operator, yes, totally, that's me. Okay, so I've got Ethernet connected here, and from this, I'm able to communicate directly with Home Assistant over the network, because this is just broadcasting TCP, Modbus, something, 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 and it's just saying, you know, here's all my information. And it's tons of stuff. I mean, what did we look at, guys? Like, I don't even know, 50 or more different bits of information that this thing is sending. So I'm able to pick up like how much it's charging, what the input voltage is, what the battery voltage is, all through Home Assistant, directly into Home Assistant. Now, one problem that I did notice today was that this one, when that breaker tripped because it got too hot, I lost all that stuff in Home Assistant. And the only way I was going to get it back was to come up here and flip that breaker back on. So before I leave up here this time around, I am going to also connect this one so that I'm getting information from both of them in Home Assistant. Now, they'll be the same, but that way if one of them goes down, I'll know what the heck's going on, right? I'll have information from this one and information from that one. This machine, on the other hand, at least so far as I've found, does not communicate to anything else. There's no app, there's no website. There may be something I can dig through the manual and see, but unfortunately, I can't get any information directly out of the inverters. I probably get most of what I need out of these and out of my Emporia stuff in the box. Oh, I can go through what the electrical inspector told me. That'll be fun. Also, the batteries. I wish the batteries had a Wi-Fi capability so they could connect to the network. They don't. They're Bluetooth. They have an app that's Bluetooth, but it doesn't do you much good unless you had a Bluetooth to Wi-Fi bridge and were able to pass along the information, but I haven't gotten to that point yet. All right, let's go down. Let's get out of here. It's flipping hot. So now's the time I can tell you about my automation. So I made an automation so that anytime the hot tub is running and it's drawing too much power, the generator will kick on automatically. So I'll let you guys look out there because I think that's prettier than looking at my ugly mug. So the hot tub, when the heater runs, it draws about 4,000 watts. When you turn on the jets, it adds another 2,000 watts. So it gets up to 6,600, 6,500 watts when the generator, or when the hot tub and when the heater and the jets are running. So we actually had somebody staying up here a couple days ago, and they were using the hot tub, and it was the first time I got to test this automation. So I made an automation that says anytime, and it's using the Emporia data. So it's checking the Emporia. So Emporia, for those of you guys that don't know what I'm talking about, Emporia is this. Yeah, that light means nothing. So this is the Emporia, right? This is the power monitor. So I'm monitoring, I have one of these downstairs as well, okay, but this one's up here. So Emporia is monitoring the current on each of the circuits. So I have it on the circuit down at the house that's monitoring the hot tub. And I set this automation so that if the hot tub starts to draw more than 6,000 watts, that it will turn on the generator and it will send me a notification of my phone. Love the thing. What do you see? Plead the fifth on that. I know what it is. I love that thing. It is awesome, isn't it? So anytime the hot tub goes above 6,000 watts, it will kick on the generator, which is right there. And by the way, I'm going to move the generator outside too. The generator should not be in here. So you really don't believe in pane covers anywhere, I see. I'm going to cover them. I am going to cover it. I am going to cover it. I have to uncover it. I had to uncover it because the inspector said I had to put this outside of the panel. He said this has to be outside the panel, so I have to mount it outside the panel. So that's why I took it off. Rat's nest. Anyway, so back to this. So it worked beautifully. So what happened was the automation, and it was actually one automation. I should show you. Maybe I can walk down to the house and we'll see if it'll work. Or maybe we can talk about it another time. But the automation, it had a... Okay, so I set the... Let me back up. Sorry, squirrel. So when the hot tub draws more than 6,000 watts, generator kicks on, and it sends me a message on my phone, Home Assistant does, that says, hey, the hot tub is using a lot of power. The generator just turned on. Great. So I'm sitting there the other night playing with some friends, and bing, I get this message. It says, hey, the generator kicked on. I was like, oh, wow. So I checked Home Assistant, and I checked the apps, and I checked my Shelly app, which is what's controlling the contactor on the hot tub. And I checked everything and the generator actually. So I checked everything and sure enough, it was all turned on, like it had worked. And then the beauty of this, Frank would be so proud. Are you there, Frank? Are you here? Frank would be so proud. So then in the actions for automations now, I'm going to turn around to my face for a second. In the actions now for automations, you can have a, like another trigger, like a wait for trigger in the automation. And so I tried it. And I put in the action a wait for trigger, and I set that wait for trigger to be the hot tub is now drawing less than 4,000 watts. And then I put to delay 30 minutes just to give the generator some time to kind of run without a big load on it. And once that 30-minute period had passed, so once they turn off the hot tub, turn off the heat, turn off the jets, it drops down below 4,000 watts. Now the action can continue in that automation. And then it waits 30 minutes, then it turns off the generator and sends me another announcement. And it worked. And it worked beautifully. I was so excited. I'm such a nerd. But I was so happy about that. I mean, that's like a big deal to be able to have an automatic, the generator kicks on when the hot tub runs is huge for something like this. Because we've had probably maybe 5 different groups of people come up here and stay so far. Mostly friends, people we know pretty well or sort of well. And almost every time something has gone wrong or there's a lot of things you have to kind of be careful about, right? You got to don't do this and that. Don't do this and that when you've got this kind of power thing, especially with these big loads like water heater and the hot tub and stuff. And almost every time things have gone wrong. Like somebody turned on things they shouldn't have turned on, or they turned on a couple things at the same time, whatever. But that worked. That worked perfectly. And I need more of those. I need more of those sort of, I don't want to say dummy proof because that sounds bad, but it's, the kind of hands-off approach up here. And I think, that was really encouraging that that's going to work potentially to do that. All right. Let me go back to reading your chats now. What questions can I answer for you about up here, guys? What do you want to know? Let's see if I can read the chats. Does it still kill the generator? It turns it off. Yeah, it does. What happens if your batteries die or something within that 30 minutes? So if here's another one then. Here's the answer to that. Who was asking that? I can't read so much because it's so bright out here. Bath Plus. So I have another automation, and this also worked. I need to add to it, though, the notification part because I don't have the notification part. So thanks for reminding me. But I have another automation that says if the batteries drop below And I picked, I think, 48.5 volts. So these are lithium iron phosphate batteries. If they get down to 48 volts, they're only like 5% state of charge. So you really want to charge them before they get down to 48 volts. So I think I said at 48.5. And in the automation, I said if the voltage on the battery drops below 48.5 volts, then turn on the generator and run the generator until the battery voltage gets to 53.5 volts. And that's about 50%. It's not full, but it's about 50%. And that worked as well. That actually happened last week as well because I didn't have all these solar panels running. So if you run the batteries down, once the batteries get low, the generator kicks on, charges the batteries up to a certain point, and then turns off the generator again. So I guess in that case, maybe what you were saying about what would happen if the batteries died during that 30 minutes, if the batteries were close to dying, the generator would have another reason to turn on anyways. And I can also do this manually. Do you have a way of being notified if the fuel in the generator tank is low? Very good question, Nicholas. I don't have that, but the propane company does. So we have a 1,000-gallon propane tank down there, and propane company around here that services this area or our tank, they have a sensor on it, and their sensor has a cell signal that sends them a message about the state of our propane. So we hadn't had it filled since last year when we first had it filled. So they filled it once. We did run the generator quite a bit in the fall and the winter, and they did come and fill it or top it up at one point when they were sort of doing their rounds because they didn't put that much in it then. And then we just asked them about it. And 1,000 gallons of propane tank, but that can only fill it to 80. 80%, 800 gallons, 80%, which is 800 gallons. Oh, okay. Well, they just came and, I'm air quoting, filled it up. But they put like 400 gallons of propane in it. So we had used a lot of it. It was about half full. Since the winter sometime. But until recently, right, we were running our... the generator was always running. If we were up here for 3 days, we were running the generator the whole time. So that kind of sucked. So we were using a lot of propane. So the short answer to that question is I don't know when the generator is or when the propane tank is low. I wish I did. I can maybe ask them still if there's some way to let me know. But the important part is the propane company knows, and if it gets low, they just come out and fill it. And they just send me a bill. I don't even have to think about it. They at least monitor that for you. Yeah, for sure, right? And it's even better because it even leaves me out of the loop because I could be the weak link in that process. If you imagine, what if that propane tank sent me a notification and then I have to then contact the propane people and have them come out, right? And I forget or I don't get the notification or blah, blah, blah. This way, it goes straight to them. They say, oh, the Hobbit House propane tank's low. Boom, we're going to go refill it. And they do. So that's a pretty sweet deal. Can you ask them for access to that information? Yeah, that's what I need to do, Yona. I haven't, but is it a Generac? It is a Kohler generator. Mopica propane sensors work pretty good. Oh, yeah, D-Dub? I would bet you that there's probably some way I could access it. Whoa. I don't know how it's working or how it's broadcasting, but it would be cool to know. We just told them we want them to come fill it in the summertime when propane is cheap. But we shouldn't use much now. Shouldn't, in air quotes again. We shouldn't use much now because with the batteries are humming. I mean, that system works great. Even if the worst case scenario, we have to use the generator to charge the batteries, that's not that bad. When there's nobody up here, the house uses maybe 300 watts. And that just kind of runs the refrigerator and the internet and not much else. There is a filter on the hot tub, but that only uses a couple hundred watts, and it only runs a couple times a day for an hour or two at a time. So that's not too bad. 400 gallons in a year. Yeah, probably a lot. I mean, this is a big generator. This is a 14 kilowatt generator. So when this sucker is running nonstop for 3 or 4 days, It killed me to do that. It really bothered me. Nobody else, like, you try and explain these things to the significant other, and they don't appreciate it or understand or realize that, hey, I'd like to turn off the generator at night so that we don't have, so we're not running a 14 kilowatt generator so that we can have 100 watts worth of refrigerator or 200 watts worth of refrigerator. Let's just turn it off at night, and save 12 hours of propane. And my wife says, well, what if I want to get up and go to the bathroom? What if one of the kids needs to turn the light on? So instead of turning off the generator, we run it all night. But not anymore. Not anymore. So the house, you'll see, as you can see from here, it still looks like a dead animal sloughing its skin. We have had a fellow out working on it to try and get some more of that dirt to stick, but it's just so dry right now. I think we passed sort of the wet season in the spring, and now nothing wants to stick again. We spread out the base of it so that it does have a different angle, and that's kind of our approach to keeping things up there. I'm using a lot of these. I'm using a lot of these pressure-treated round posts to make a retaining wall, which is good. Let's see. Home Assistant is monitoring it now, so no need to worry. That's right. Just water the house 24/7, right? No problem. No problem. What is wet season anymore? I know, right? We have been getting little bits of sprinkles. I don't know how it's been for all of you fellas, but we do get little bits of sprinkles around here. And even down at our house in Utah, it's been raining a lot lately. But it doesn't rain it rains, and it'll rain, for half an hour, for an hour. It'll just be a little bit, and then it'll stop. But it's been doing that like every other day for a while. So it's kind of good. It's kind of good, right? All right, let's see. I need to find a good backdrop and sit down and chat. Oklahoma has had hardly any rain in 2 months. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. We're not doing good enough rain dances, guys. Tell that to Lake Powell. Yeah, we were there. We were there last week. Was it last week? Yeah, it was. Did we talk about it? Did we talk about Lake Powell during the stream last week? I don't think we did. I can't read when I take my glasses off to clean them. I can't read. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Up here in the north, easy. In the east, we have rain. We haven't seen rain in 2 weeks. 98 F. Oh my gosh, Marshmallow, that's no good. Everyone needs to wash their cars. How close are you to getting the home complete? At least phase 1, Mongo says. We're actually quite close. So, severe thunderstorm warnings in Canada. Geez. Okay, so I started to tell you, I did have the electrical inspector come up. And when you're doing an off-grid thing like this, at least up here in Idaho, you have to have the state inspector. So it's not the normal local inspector that inspects everything else in the house. You have to have a state inspector that comes. I'll turn you around so you can see my ugly mug. You have a state inspector that comes to do the electrical inspection, especially all this stuff, right? The solar stuff. And he came last week. That's why I was here on Monday last week, because he was coming. And I was it Monday or Friday? It had to be Monday because we came home from Lake Powell on Friday. Last Friday. Anyways, super nice guy. It was great that I was here because I was able to walk around with him. And I was able to be real nice to him so that, it's harder to be mean to somebody that's being nice to you. So it's harder for him to say, oh, you screwed this up. Oh, you screwed this up. Fail, blah, 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 when you're being nice. But he's genuinely a really cool guy. And fortunately, we really didn't have any major problems. We didn't have any major issues. He wanted me to get the Emporia thing out of the actual panel up here at the pavilion and down in the house. So I got to do that today. He wanted me to have, I fixed a ground fault breaker or ground fault receptacle thing over here. And he wanted the receptacle that's in by the generator to also be ground fault. So I just fixed that. He wanted the receptacles in my mechanical room to be ground fault. So I fixed that. I fixed that last night and today. One problem I had, he said that the lighting in the bedrooms needs to be on the arc fault breaker. So the bedrooms are on ground fault and arc fault breakers, But the lighting, because it's that sort of PoE, right, lumen cache lighting, the lighting was not on those same circuits. It's not 120 volts either. It's 24 volts, 24 volt DC. But he read the code a little bit more, and he's like, I think we should probably just do it. You know, it should be easy enough to piggyback one receptacle onto the arc fault breaker and onto one of those arc fault breakers, and then just, you know, put it on one plug and then plug in your lighting panel to that. So I did that, but every time I plug in the lighting panel, it trips. I think, and I don't know how arc fault breakers work, but if I think it's because there's no grounding conductor on the cord that is plugging in. That seems weird to me because you can plug in stuff in the bedrooms that doesn't have a grounding a ground conductor on it. But maybe I don't know what's up with the load that with the lighting, the power supply for the lighting. I plugged in a drill, and I just squeezed, that only had 2 prongs. I plugged in the drill and squeezed it, and it tripped again. So I don't know right now what's going to happen. I'm going to try and put a different power supply cable, different power supply cord. Come on, dude. Speak English. A power supply cord that has a ground conductor on the lighting power supply that goes to the panel, and see if that keeps it from tripping. If not, I'm going to talk to him and just say, do I really need this? Really, really, really? Because it's tripping. It's tripping, yo. All right, what have you guys said here? Arc fault breaker be a GFI outlet. Is the arc fault breaker... Let's see. Arc fault breaker, if it's 120 volt, not low voltage. Put it back in when he won't coming back anymore. That's not one of... It's off the grid. 4 weeks of 100 plus in Austin. Oh my gosh, thunderstorm. Yeah, I don't know what the arc... So the arc fault, is that because... So I don't even know what arc fault does. Does the arc fault just protect the grid? Is that really the purpose of the arc fault breakers, is to protect the grid somehow? Because if that's the case, he's a cool guy, and he was really going back and forth. Like, I don't know if this is really necessary or not really necessary. And he's like, well, maybe let's just do it, you know. But if I have trouble, like I'm having, if I can't get it sorted out, I'll go back to him and just say, hey, do I really have to do that? Because I tried it, and it just keeps tripping. I don't know why. So let's see. There were those couple of things. There really wasn't anything major. There really was nothing major. I had forgotten to, when we were trying to sort out some of our ground fault, we were having ground fault problems. It turned out it was the ground fault protection on the well pump was tripping, nuisance tripping. And in the process of trying to sort that out, we had disconnected a grounding wire inside one of these disconnect boxes, and we forgot to hook it back up. So I had to hook that back up. But really, like, that's it, you know. I think there's a couple junction boxes, a couple places where I didn't have junction boxes where I have to put junction boxes. I'll do that today. So, I mean, I'm already down to like 2 or 3 things on his little checklist, and then I'll be able to have him come back. Well pump doesn't need GFCI protection. Good, because I disconnected it. I disabled it because it was just tripping. It turns out, right, when you have arc fault is protection from fire. They're notorious for tripping with UPS. Oh, really? So yeah, so back to the well. Okay, an arc fault breaker differs from a GFCI outlet or circuit breaker in that it detects slow electrical leaks. A slow leak typically occurs when wiring is compromised but not completely shorted. Oh. Things not to say while live. Nice nose hairs. How about that? Is that better? I got anything on my teeth? Try and get you out of my nose hairs, okay? But you see, I got to be able to see what you write. Oh, I could get this off my neck, actually. Why am I even have it on my neck anymore? The neck thing is just when I'm holding it. Nice, no hair. Look at all this hair. Man, I need a shave, too. Bad. Mucho bado. So we were talking about the arc fault things. Let's see. Wait, I was reading about some of the things that you guys were saying. Arc fault to protect from fire. Okay. Oh, I was talking about okay. So when you have when you're off grid like this, and you've got the inverter like I do, it can play tricky things with ground fault circuitry, right? You guys, I'm sure a lot of you will be like, "Oh yeah, that's for sure." That's pretty sweet. So reading the manual for the inverters, it said these are the specific model numbers of ground fault breakers that will work with this inverter. And of course, my well pump thing out there, which you can see off in the distance, it's next to that little blue tent. My ground fault, or my well pump out there, had its own ground fault protection built in, and it was not playing nice with the inverter. And not only was it not playing nice with the inverter, it was, I don't know if it was testing itself or it was doing something, and it was tripping every ground fault receptacle in the entire system. And at least I think it's been solved since we got into there. And I got to thank Joe Levi, Joe, the stud. Joe lives over there off in the distance. He came over and spent a whole Saturday afternoon. He spent about 6 hours here with me one Saturday afternoon a month or two ago. And we went through a whole bunch of stuff and finally figured out that if we disable, or we tried, and we disabled the ground fault protection on the well pump, and that's it. Like since then, I haven't had any more ground fault problems. My ground fault receptacles have not been tripping. So hopefully that was the problem. Drink water. I look dehydrated. Thank you. I'll probably end here pretty soon. Dinner time. I'll catch up at 2 p. No problem. POW wiring is inherently power Ethernet class limited and not required to be put on AFCI. The bedroom lights are 120 volts. They must be put on arc fault breakers. Yeah, they're not though, right? The 120 volts is it's going to the power supply, and then the lights that are going into the room are 12 or 24 volts. So, I mean, I could totally see what you're saying, and I hope I can convince him that's true, that's right, because I think that's right too. It does say on there 120 volts. So, like we read the code, him and I, when he was here, and but anyways, I'll see if I can fix it with this. I don't know. I'll try a few things, and I'll see if I can fix it and get it to work with the arc fault breaker. But if I can't, I will ask him for an exception on that one and see if he'll give me that one. Hopefully he will. This is Idaho after all. You want me to get hydrated? Should we ride down? You guys want to take a ride on the four-wheeler? Have I taken you guys on a ride around the property? Let's do that. I think I did before, right? By the way, I got my first Culp LED controller for Christmas light this year. Still planning to buy your Permatrack sometime this year. Awesome, Nicholas. Hey, that's a great segue, Nicholas. I didn't even plant you in the audience for that. But 2 days ago, on Friday, I finished installing Permatrack and Pixels and a Dig Quad on my good buddy Tyler's house. He's a neighbor. He's been a friend, him and his family, and have been friends with my family for, oh my gosh, 15 years or something like that. And we used to live near each other in Virginia, and then we moved out to Utah. They moved to California, and now they live, for about the last 6 or 7 years at least, they've lived like half a block away from us. And Tyler is a marketing guy, and he's going to help me do some marketing too for Permatrack. So there's a Permatrack video coming. In fact, if I get tired of being out in the sun today, or if I get finished with the things that I need to get done, which I'm probably not gonna. But anyways, I'll start working on editing that video. That'll be the next full feature video that I get out, which I will hope to get out in the next week or two. Will be a new Permatrack install video. It's pretty slick. It's so easy. I mean, we did his house. We rented a lift, and we did his house. How long did it take us? 5 or 6 hours, maybe. I think we were 95% done by like 2 in the afternoon, and we started at 9 in the morning. All right, what do you got? Arc fault protection protects the property against potential for fire. Can we have videos in general back, Marshmallow? Hey, Keaton's here. I would like to do more videos, Marshmallow. I would. And I'm trying. I'm trying. I am trying. I've got to shed some other responsibilities. I've been saying that for a long time. Black Permatrack is available on your site now too. Yeah, Nicholas. So interesting thing there. It can be argued. Most inspectors don't understand the code. Good. SB, I may consult you, all right? I'm going to get you to write me a letter. Do you have some fancy letterhead with some credentials? I hired this engineer, this guy named SB. He said I don't need it. Maybe you just contact Lumen Cache and ask them about art breakers. Ooh, that's a good idea. Some call it fun. That would be a good reason to contact them anyways. I need to talk to, it's been a while since I talked to, was this Derek? So I should probably do that anyways. Oh, and then the black permatrack, I was going to tell you the story behind the black permatrack. So we had somebody who wanted to make, mega trees out of permatrack. And it's probably a good idea because, you know, a lot of the problem with mega trees is you got to have them under a lot of tension. And most of the time they just are these strips of a thin plastic stuff. And so they can sag a little bit if you don't have them under tension. So putting them in permatrack seemed like a really good idea. I still think it's a good idea. And so he said he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to make mega trees out of this stuff. And so I want to buy a whole bunch of black from you. And so since he was buying a lot of it, it was like 100 boxes at 50 feet each, right? So 500 feet of it, 5,000 feet of it. Was it 100 boxes? I don't remember what it was, whatever. Anyways, he said he was going to buy a bunch. And so we ordered it from our factory. They painted it black. They sent it to us. And then he kind of flaked, I guess. And he just, I don't know what happened, but he ended up not wanting it or something changed. That's okay. Happens. I'm not going to hold it against them. But now we've got some black permatrack to sell. And actually the stuff that I installed at my friend Tyler's house was white that he painted light brown. So I think we're going to get into the mode of being able to have more colors. Probably not this season, but by next season, we'll probably be able to have more colors. Let's see. Keaton, remember to pop your banner when you log on. Our non-Ethernet Dig Uno is going to be available soon. Yeah, Chris, I hope so. I have... What's good? Here's what's going to change, at least according to what Quindor's been planning. Pretty soon, like with the next batch that I get from him, it will no longer be the controller and the baseboard in a package. You'll select your baseboard, whether it's an Uno or a quad, and then you'll select your upper board, whether it's a regular onboard antenna or an external antenna or Ethernet. Yeah, you're late, Tony. That's okay. Better late than never. So one caveat I'm going to put on that is that, and I don't know how the AllNet China factory is going to do it, how the international store is going to do it. But for me and my sanity, I'm not going to take them out of their separate packages and put them together and then ship them out. I'm just going to take the baseboard and the upper board and put them in the box together and send them out. So that means when you get them, and for most of you guys that won't be a problem. I can already though imagine that there's going to be some people who are going to turn it up, put it around backwards and fry something, or they're going to they won't line up the pins right, or something like that. It'll freak them out a little bit. So we'll have to have a little bit of prep there to help people not make any mistakes when they're doing that. But yeah, to me, I think that's a great way to do it. It's going to make it easier because right now I have Unos. I have lots of Unos that have the Ethernet on them, and I've got some plain ESP32s. And if I have people who want to buy that combo, I should be able to do that. Anyway, so message me in Discord if you wanted something like that. I just haven't put it on the site that way. Maybe I should start. Maybe I should do that. But anyways, that's what's coming. The next shipment, I will probably get a shipment in September. So it might not be until September. So I have what I have until September. Maybe a small printout, the pictures to showing the right way. Yeah, for sure, right? I think you're right, Marshmallow. I've been trying to say, for these couple of years we've been doing this now, Just go to the videos, just go to the videos, just go to the videos. I think it's probably time that we mass produce an instruction sheet, even if it's just a simple like IKEA looking diagram of a couple of things. There's like there was on the Permatrack Facebook page, somebody got after us because we didn't have a good enough instructions for the controller. You know, we're learning. We're learning. All right, what else am I missing in the chat? Let's see. Put a QR code with a link to a video. That, Gary, is genius. TikTok. I should do how to do the TikToks. The Insta-Talks. Makes a lot of sense to me. People buy these, can figure out how to connect them, right? I think so too, Jeffrey. I think you're right. They're not, this is not like, you know, straight up consumer grade, buy it for your kid and plug it in, you know. No problem with that. Thanks for the update. And yeah, Chris, and if you want it before September, just give me a holler. We'll figure it out. Free labor needs to pay for at least 18 years. Alex is here. How's it going? Just show the PoE spec that shows it's power class limited. Lumencast should have a sheet on it. Should satisfy the inspector. Awesome. Okay. Thank you, SB. And hey, would you, SB, are you on Discord? Would you message me so that are you Sean Brown? No, is that you? Anyways, message me on Discord because I may have more questions. And you're obviously very knowledgeable, so I would love your input as I get this worked out. Do you guys want to go see the house? What do you want to see? What do you want to see? What do you want to talk about? You want to go down and see the house? I'm a little afraid my cell signal will suck a little bit if I get down there, but maybe not. We can go for a ride on the four-wheeler. What do you think? An IKEA instruction sheet mounting the Culp wired watts mounting board over the other night. QR codes, especially when they don't just put a link next to it or something. So if we do a QR code, at least Proximo would also like the other thing. He would also like to have the actual thing, huh? The Culp, so the Culp was hard to mount. People buying are at least a bit interested in tinkering. I agree, some paper instructions would be great to just give a starting point. Yeah, Jeff. And that's kind of, like, I didn't want to argue with I didn't want to argue with this person. They were obviously upset. And they had asked for some help, and I'd been giving them some help, but they were just hurt that we didn't have some kind of written instructions included in the packaging. What are you going to do? They thought they were buying a different kind of a product, I guess, and that's okay. Thought about putting the cell booster on the house? Not yet. Not yet, but I may. They said they're supposed to be putting some other new towers up here somewhere. All right, so let's go for a ride. Let's go for a ride. We might have to pull start this four-wheeler. Okay. Let's see. We're going to swing you around. There we go. How's that? See if we can get this thing started. It's probably not going to start. Nope. The battery is just like on the edge of having enough power. If I leave it on the charger for a while, it'll start, but I whacked the camera, but I got it started. All right, let's go for a ride. Sorry about the sound. Mute. While we're here, I will show you this. This is where we keep the bad kids. When the kids don't do their chores, we put them in there. Actually, okay, that's our flow pump. That's the pump that we use to make sure we have plenty of water pressure in the house. This is the lid to our well tank. This was just a cover when we had a generator over here. And this is our well pump. So right now we got plenty of water in the well pump. It's not running right now. It's got an automatic thing that's got some float sensors on it, but I haven't completely tested it yet, so we just keep an eye on it. Oh, shoot. four-wheeler shut off. All right, here we go. All right, I can't see what you see, and I can't see if you're talking to me. So let's just go for a ride. Ooh, I'm gonna take you over to see the lake. There's our lake. Love it. And this actually right here, this is our land as well. And this is where we're gonna build a bigger house, a big castle someday, hopefully. Right here, overlooking the lake and the town. Still got a 360-degree view of the mountains. Love it. The grass is like up to my chest. Woo! All right, here we go. My back, it's too bright, I can't see. All right, anybody home? You guys here? Thanks to PCB for sponsoring the video. Signal did died. Need to get some sheep, don't I? Goodbye, Signal. Am I back though? That's what I really want to know is, am I back? House fell. How are you driving? All right, are you guys here? You back? I'm back. Hey, so I just want to bring you over here because this is another little part of the property, and from here you can see the house from a whole different angle. You can see the deck, and you can see where we've been working on a lot of the roof on this side. So our property is, you know, goes from this ridge here right there along there. That stuff's not ours, and then yeah, over there. So I'm gonna go back across again, and then we'll go to the house and I'll get some water, okay? You can hear the motor. Okay, so it's gonna probably die again. The land sharks. The thing is so cool, like this wheat stuff that's out here right now is like up to my chest. So I'm driving and I'm getting totally bombarded by these little wheat kernels. All right. So I'm gonna drive back over there, which means absolutely sure the signal is going to die again. All right, so just be prepared. I'll try and get the signal back on pretty quickly once we get back to the house, okay? Ready? Okay, we're back. We got a new entryway. We had somebody do a bunch of work here with the entry, so it looks a lot nicer. It's kind of flat. You can see all this extra dirt. This is all new. I don't know how many of you remember. We still have a lot of work to do on the roof. Turns out it's pretty hard to actually get a dirt to stick on the roof of a house. Ugh. All right. Whew. I don't remember how much of this I showed everybody. You got swords now. You've seen all that stuff probably. Fireplace, you've seen all that. got some work to do. Oh, I did 3D print some fire. The flames up there on the light are 3D printed. Pretty good, eh? Oh, the circle curtain. Yeah, yeah. You want to see the circle curtain? Well, I only have the one circle curtain. I came here. Can I come park my off-grid van there and work on my smart van project? Yes, of course you can, Jeffrey. We got plenty of room. Show the hot tub setup. Okay, C Sharpworm, will do. Well, let's do this. The circle door is amazing. Thank you very much, Jeffrey. So this is the main bedroom. With the little patio here goes out. So this is the circle curtain. So circle curtains are tricky. The only kid in the house right now here is Dawson. All right, let's turn this around, and I'll show you how this circle curtain, because the circle curtain was actually a little tricky. You see it? It's not the best workmanship, but it's better than nothing. So we made let's look at that. Some of them are falling out still. Anyways, I took this kind of a track that you usually use on a ceiling and put it on the wall here, and then we can have a curtain that opens like that. And then closes like that. Pretty cool, huh? Not a lot of those around. What do you got? What is the internet speed like? Are you using LTE? I am right now using LTE. We have Elon Musk internet, but it's just okay. It's not great. It's just okay. I did actually. There is a speed test. There's a speed test integration for Home Assistant now. So if you, I'm afraid to go down in the basement because I'm afraid we'll really lose signal. Never thought about the circle curtain would be different. Yeah, circle curtain, not your average thing. Not something that everybody does, that's for sure. And it took a little bit of ingenuity to figure that thing out. All right, I'm gonna sit in my most comfy chair. And have a glass of water with my homies. That's you guys. All right, what was that again? Who just wrote something? CDMT speed, Elon Musk internet, AKA Starlink. Impressive live stream quality with LTE. Thank you, L, thank you. Yeah, we have a pretty close cell tower, I think. I mean, you know, we've had good luck and bad luck with it. We definitely have had more bad luck than good luck with Starlink, though. It's so weird because we can, and maybe it's the upload-download thing, because we can watch movies fine, but when I try and stream, never thought about how the circle curtains, yeah. Let's see. Yeah. All right. I'm going to drink some water and then we'll go look at the hot tub. It's hot out there. What else? What else are you guys curious about? So other Home Assistant related. I was really impressed with that automation things. This water is sponsored by PCBWay. Thank you, PCBWay, for giving DrZzs some water. Yeah, it certainly is variable. Winter's just around the corner. For that area? Oh gosh, I wish. I think we're just getting into the hot season. Between, like right now, August and July are the worst. Except for the short audio problem much earlier, the signal's been good. Awesome. Well, that's encouraging because we had so much struggle with streams up here that it was really starting to worry me. Need to make a new PCB? Of course you do, Barry. What are you gonna make a PCB for? Yesterday we saw Starlink satellites, a strange line across the sky. We thought they were aliens. You know, I had a friend actually, Yona, that on Facebook that just posted something similar that said, "What the heck are these lights going across the sky?" And I wrote him and said, "Those are Starlink satellites. We've seen them go by." Are you sure the heads on the disc is clean? Because the dust and stuff could make the signal strength bad. Ooh, good. That's good to know. I didn't know that. I will clean it and make sure. Definitely get better, but the upload and latency right now is a bit of a booger. Okay, cool. Somebody, so I was talking to some guys. Everybody here probably knows Jonathan Oxer, right? Do you guys remember Jonathan Oxer, Superhouse, from a few years ago? I don't know if he's making much as far as videos and things lately. I think, you know, he kind of had his business was kind of in custom electronics and stuff. He was making kits and doing stuff like that. Have I done videos on making custom PCBs? Not really, Craig. I'm not sure that I am savvy enough in that way. If anybody should make a video about how to make custom PCBs, it would be Quindor. That's the dude who knows, not me. But I was saying that, so Jonathan Oxer, there's some guys been working on with him or on things that he kind of started, and they're calling them, I think they're calling them Oxers, OXRS. And it's basically, if you remember Superhouse, is he still doing live streams? Okay, good. So he hasn't disappeared any more than I have. So long ago, he did basically a central smart hub, smart relay, centralized thing for his house. And they're working on making that repeatable, making it something that a lot of people can use. And I think they have a few different products that they're kind of working on. It's all open source. It's got a lot of good developers working on it. And I think it was, I can't remember what it was based, which processor it was, if it was ESP32 or something else. But anyways, they were just chatting with me the other day, and looks cool. Like they've got some good stuff to come up with. Have I seen the Smart Home Hub by Smart Solutions for Home? C# Worm, is that the one that is the ESP32, and then it has the modules that you can plug in, and it's got some inputs and some outputs? I think I did. Did you share that video with me? Because I liked that thing a lot. I definitely liked that thing a lot. I won't use it now, but maybe later. Did I think about your suggestion of Bluetooth reading the battery, Discord, whole topic? You know what, Platypus? I need to do that, but I haven't been able to focus enough on it. I haven't been able to think a lot about it. I would really like to have whatever information those batteries are sending via Bluetooth translated to Wi-Fi and sent to the network so that I can have access to it. I would really like that. Right now, I don't have it. Right now, I don't have that. Starlink will definitely get better, yeah. So the people we did, I did see you had a new Shelly HT with the screen earlier. Yeah, Nicholas, I do. But I wish that, like right now, if I go to the Shelly app, it'll probably say it's unavailable. I don't know why. Maybe it's because my phone's not close and it's Bluetooth. It should be connected to the network. Maybe it fell asleep. I don't know. They need to connect wires without going in electrical boxes, so RG45 stuff. Oh, I see. So their system is going to be a little different. Is there any open source solar solutions that integrate well into Home Assistant? I don't know about open source solar solutions, L. I wish there were some better ones. Solar Edge integrates pretty well and works pretty well. And that's an inverter system. Yeah. What I've been doing is just power monitoring. Fortunately, I can access the charge controllers, and so I can get some battery information and some solar information from that. And then I've been combining that with Emporia to get the information about power usage. And so with the combination of those two things, it's right now been, I mean, it pretty well gives me what I need. Of course, more information is always going to be better. If I could have more information, it would just be that much better. But for now, that's what I'm doing, and it works pretty well. I would love to have like if I could find like some sort of open source battery monitor, and somebody sent me something actually. Somebody sent me, actually, I don't even know if I bought it. Victron has a decent integration. Oh yeah, Victron. Are their controllers Wi-Fi? Or I guess maybe they have some Wi-Fi and some Bluetooth. Because we actually have a Victron controller on the RV solar. But it's Bluetooth. It's a Bluetooth app. But maybe if they must have a Wi-Fi if you say there's an integration for Home Assistant. I know they make quality stuff. I know Victron is a good solar, and do they do inverters as well? Mostly charge controllers. At least what we have is a charge controller. Latest project, the Tempest weather station. Oh yeah, I didn't want to pay that, but my neighbor a few streets over has one. So wrote Node-RED flow that scrapes the data from the Tempest website and imports it all to Home Assistant via MQTT Discovery. Nice, Stone Obscurity, nice. Yeah, the weather station would be nice to have, for sure. And that Tempest thing looks pretty cool, but not yet. We're not there yet, for me. All right, I gotta finish my water bottle and then I'll show you the hot tub. The hot tub system, actually, I could probably get it warmed up pretty good right now. We'll do that. Let's do that. I'll have to grab the thing. Victron does inverters too, but not sure about house size. Yeah, and that's a good point, Jeff, is the Victron stuff I've seen, they're smaller systems. Looking at a Generac power cell home solar system. Oh gosh. Sorry, hopefully I didn't just report you, Mongo Wongo. With a Generac propane, do I have any thoughts? I don't know. I mean, Generac obviously is a good brand. I don't know what their solar, what else, whole home solar system. Let's see. I'm trying to just think about what I've learned and what advice I would give. I bought this system as a DIY system. The place I bought it from was Unbound Solar. I can't say buy anything from Unbound Solar. Just there's been too many problems. They still owe me money for batteries that never worked and froze and blah, 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 blah. So I'm not sure I would go with a DIY kit. I think now I could because it took me some learning. But our kit at home is just a lot easier. They just came and did it, and they were gone in a couple days, and it worked after that. And it had a Solar Edge inverter, which just imports the information into Home Assistant. It was pretty simple. Building a solar, let's see, Chris. Well, here's my last slug of water, and we're gonna go show Chris exactly that. Thank you to PCB for helping me chug this bottle of water. All right, I'm gonna strap this thing on my neck again, get off my nose hairs. Don't want everybody looking at my nose hairs. All right, we gotta grab the power supply. So when the inspector was here, I didn't want to have this thing hooked up, so I brought my power supply inside. I need, the little battery pack that came with the solar panel that I had hooked up to this thing gave up the ghost. So actually what happened was, that was one of the things that happened when we had some people staying here, was they let the battery pack. So I had a solar panel, a tiny solar panel, and a tiny battery pack hooked up to this pump to pump from my solar water heater into the hot tub. But some people were staying here, and they let the battery pack fall into the hot tub. so that stopped working for some reason. Turns out battery packs don't belong in the hot tub. All right, so here you go. Who was that? Chris was just saying solar water heater. There you go, Chris. It's a little bit cloudy out today, or at least at the moment it is. So then, let's undo this. Not too many off-grid hot tubs, I'll tell you that. And I can tell you why too, but all right. So there we've got a pump. It's smelling a little fishy today. I think we need to do some work on this thing. The water's a bit low too. So there's our pump. Pumps up here, down there, through this, and then back up and out here. So when I plug this guy in, hopefully, if things have not totally rotted, we should get some water coming out here in a minute. Now, there you go. There's the water. Last time I did that, yeah, that water's flipping hot right now. Like, last time I did that, I touched that water, and it was super hot. And sure enough, right now, it is also quite hot. Yeah, this thing needs some chemicals or something. So there you go. There's my solar water heater. Definitely need to put some chemicals in this thing. We'll work on that this weekend. So anyways, this is one of my favorite places in the whole Hobbit house. Forgive my mess. We're going to get it all cleaned up here. But we have one rule at the Hobbit house, and that is every day at sunset, you stop what you're doing, and you come out here on the deck, and you sit down, you look over there, and you watch the sunset. That is a hard, fast rule. We make no exceptions. You're not getting in there? Oh, come on. Come on. Oh, you're going to do the Tempest weather thing? DigiBlur's link. Oh, nice. You're going to splurge and get it, huh? Well, let me know how it goes. If we have a good Permatrack season, maybe I'll get one too. New shell units claim to be able to connect Bluetooth data in near vicinity and deliver data to Home Assistant. Oh, nice. You should look at building a, oh yeah, solar water heater. There it was. So that over there is the beginnings of a fire pit, but it's not good enough, and there's way too much dead stuff around it. So that's not happening just yet. This is going to be trampoline pit. But yeah, this is, so how do you like my retaining wall? This is, I kind of think this is pretty nice. So we're doing this so that we can change the angle, that we're going to change the angle of the dirt here so that the dirt can come down at a different angle, and hopefully we can get it to stay up there better. So that's the plan here. But we had just railroad ties. These railroad ties are not going to stay here. We had just railroad ties here, a couple of railroad ties here, and the dirt just came, straight down to there. But I didn't like that so much. And we had such, good success using these poles for this that I thought, well, let's get a bunch of those. And so when I do hang up with you guys here in the next few minutes and get back to work, that's one of my big jobs for today, is to cut some more of those and to finish off, because I ran out. Last time I was up here, I ran out, and I didn't have enough to finish right here. So I'll do that. What do you guys know about, let's see. Love the railing. It reminds me of Six Flags. Thanks. Me too. Could do Dr. Pepper as well. Tar paper between the dirt and the poles. Oh, good point. These are pressure treated, but that's you know what? That's a great point. We should totally put a lining on the back of these of tar paper. Gosh, I'm so glad I have you guys. Best friends ever. You guys are the best friends ever. Beer makes everything better. Update the rule. Or Dr. Pepper for me, right? Got it. Yeah. So this is, I'm happy with this, the way this looks. It looks really good. Obviously we ran out of stain. I was just kind of slapping some on there. And I kind of dipped it down. I don't know if you can tell. For you, it probably just looks like it's an optical illusion or something. But I did kind of dip it down here because it does have to flow sort of away from the window. I think what I want to do also is put kind of a French drain in so that when the dirt comes, it comes down and then sort of goes back up and kind of has a shallow spot. And then in that shallow spot, we run a French drain that drains out over there. That way, like, all that moisture doesn't just start setting here. It kind of gets wicked away. I guess wicking's not the word, but it flows away and doesn't just, stack up against the back of these poles. But I like it. I think it's a good idea. And we're going to do the same thing over here. I hate all these weeds. We're going to do the same thing over here. And this is, again, a job. In fact, if the clouds, oh no, it looks like we're experiencing the last cloud for now. But right here, I've got to dig away some of this dirt and then put those poles, same kind of thing. I'm going to put poles out to here, and I'll probably put the poles, I don't know, out to here somewhere. And then we'll start heading them that way a little bit, and we'll make a bit of a path. So we'll put a bunch of those poles over here, but I think I'll make them shorter. So, because they can come, this is a bit further out than that. Or at least I can make it go further out. So we'll put the poles further out. Maybe we'll move this over. Anyways, we'll let this kind of slope down, and then we'll use those poles to sort of outline a little path that goes around that way towards the master bedroom. So we've gotten lots of plants back. We got lots of weeds and stuff around here, that's for sure. If you've got allergies, if you've got hay fever, this is not the place for you. It gets pretty sneezy up here sometimes. Well, I have to mow the roof. Mongo, that is not my plan. The plan is, you know that stuff that I drove through? I don't know how well you see. That's the spot where I sat, by the way, where I was on the four-wheeler, was over there. So that grass we have out there, it's just this tall kind of, they call it cheat grass, but it's just this like wild wheat looking stuff. And that's what we want to grow on top of the house. And no, the plan is to never water it. Or not water it. Well, never water it and never mow it. That's the plan. But we'll see. I don't know, man. I don't know. Stupid vacuum. I've needed a robot to reboot it, connect to the MQTT after disconnect for some reason. I have yet to have really good luck with robot vacuums, Alexander. Interested in hot tub because I have a gecko system. I'd like to get into home. Oh yeah, no, there's an app for that. C# worm, and that's actually what I have. So this runs. So I bought the gecko system for this. And there is an app for Home Assistant now, or an integration for Home Assistant. My problem has been it just constantly disconnects. Like and I haven't tried to reconnect it to Home Assistant. I ran into some trouble, but it just constantly disconnected. Now, that gecko system is an RF system. So with that gecko system, they give you two pieces, right? I think I kind of explained this before. What I did was I actually ran an Ethernet wire, one of my waterproof, direct bury Ethernet wires. There's my satellite dish, by the way. And so there's the Ethernet wire that goes in here. And I just put the two pieces of that gecko system right next to each other. So they're like broadcasting their RF signal, but touching. But it's worked perfectly with the app. The integration for Home Assistant has not worked perfectly. The app has, but not the integration for Home Assistant. So for what that's worth. All right, the sun is back. So I'm going inside. Was there something else I was going to tell you about the hot tub? Well, the gecko system, that's important. I need to... Who knows? Do you guys know who knows how to take care of a hot tub? I don't. This thing is... I think it's probably run out now. Oh, gosh. Ew. Yeah, it smells... It's not... I mean, you'd be like, I'm not swimming in that, but would you go swimming in a lake? It's no worse than swimming in a lake. We do keep the filter running at least. All right, I'm going to cover this back up. Let the solar heater do its thing. And before we leave, we'll throw some chemicals in it. We had to get new straps because the straps that it came with broke. These straps just broke. So we had to buy some aftermarket straps. We get some pretty bad winds up here. The winds will tear this thing apart. All right. Yeah. Oh, I'll show you guys the basement. Let's see. All right, so we're going to go down to the basement and have another look-see down there. And I don't know how the signal is going to go. So the signal may fail. All right, let's see. Should have Home Assistant run the filtration system every 2 hours for 30 minutes. No, you wouldn't go in the lake either. Your deck could be blocking some of the Starlink signal. I don't know, Nicholas, could it? Might be. I need test strips. Disconnect my vacuum from the cloud. Use Veil Tudo. Build underground bunker hill. 10-inch spikes every foot to hold the dirt. Oh, really? Seen one YouTuber build it. Oh, okay, cool. Well, yeah, okay. All right, cool. All right, guys, so let's go for about 5 more minutes, and I know it'll be a little bit early. Okay, I want to show you a couple other things. You like this? Do you guys remember this? That's a Reolink camera that I painted, my own gloriously beautiful Eye of Sauron paint job. I'm actually extremely proud of this. And then I 3D printed this. It's actually a dice tower too. Isn't that awesome? Oh, Alex, I'm sorry. Alex's Odroid N2 broke. The USB ports broke on it. Darn it. Someday we're going to have a meetup here, fellas. Someday we're going to have a meetup. I know not everybody can come, but someday everybody... Oh, look, this is the Aleca thermostat, actually. I think I'm going to put this all over the house. I'm going to use those all over the place. And then, of course, this is my Zigbee temperature sensor. All right, let's go downstairs for a minute. Dawson, do you have clothes on? Do you have clothes on? Yeah, I'm live streaming and I'm coming downstairs. Okay, just in case we get disconnected, as always, thanks for watching. Until next time. Let's go downstairs, and maybe I'll lose my signal. Okay, you better hide if you're naked, boy, because I'm coming. Okay, so I want to show you guys this because I am so proud. Oh, look at that thing. This is bum, bum, bum. So proud of this map. I drew it by hand myself. Just kidding. But it's wallpaper, and then I put a bunch of lacquer on top of it to keep it from getting dinged up too easily. And then just some simple stuff, some simple trim from Home Depot or Lowe's, I can't remember which. And yeah, pretty awesome. And then I made this. This is also homemade, just crown molding. And then we've got Sting, just hanging from the lamp. And then this is a Lord of the Rings chess set. They're very cool, but they are just plastic. So they're little, like some of them have like swords. They're straightening out a little bit. The swords were kind of melty. But we do have kids that like to play chess. And then of course you all recognize this, right? That's how we're gonna find the Lonely Mountain and restore our homeland. Lots of this. You guys have probably seen all this stuff before. But I really wanted to show you that over there. That just makes me so happy inside. All right, Dawson, where are you at? Oh, he's hiding in there. Okay. Well, he's hiding under the blanket over there. Anyways, all right. Well, anything else, guys? I just wanted to show you this. I don't think there's anything else too much to show you down here that you haven't already seen at some point in the past. We love it. We love it. We love being here. These round doors, these are solid wood doors with round tops on them like this, and they have gotten really tight. So last time we were up here, I had to do a bunch of sanding on them. I had to do a bunch of sanding to like keep them from rubbing because they were, changes in humidity and stuff, and they were starting to rub. Anyways, fun shower curtain too. All right, Dawson. Last call, guys. See you next week. Yeah, let's wrap it up. We will be. I don't know what we're gonna do about a stream next week. I really don't know. Maybe we'll do it on Monday. We'll do it a week from tomorrow. Okay. We'll do it a week from tomorrow because that'll be probably the only time I can. I don't think I'll be able to do it at all on Sunday. I won't be able to do it Saturday, so it'll probably have to be Monday, or we might just miss. Get the ESP Home audio working for sure. Next time I'm at the house, that's what we'll do. Okay, Dawson is gonna do our sign off. Ready, Dawson? Because Dawson is just sitting here watching movies. playing Xbox. Okay, time for sign off, Dawson.
As always, thanks for watching. Until next time, adios.
Okay, thank you, buddy. All right. Hey, everybody, thanks for being here. Thanks for sticking with me. And we'll do something next week. Probably be on Monday, and we'll do ESP32 audio. Okay? Adios. Bye. Thank you, PCB Way. Thank you, Sir Goodenough. Thanks, everybody, for all your help. SB, don't forget, please message me so we can talk about electrical stuff. Change the calendar. Will do. All right. Adios, everybody. Thanks. Where's the button? No, that one.